We had to put off a few meetings in the beginning because with all the COVID and stuff, but we were able to do that. We have to call the roll each time to make it legal, so we do that in a few minutes. But we appreciate everybody coming tonight, and we've got a lot on the agenda, and we'll try to move forward as quick as we can. But we do have a quorum, but wait just a couple more minutes to see if another person joins in. All right, it's 6:01, and she can join us in a little bit if we do have quorum as it is, but I will call the roll to establish that procedure. Mr. Victor, you here tonight?
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm Mike Metz. Miss Ann Ward?
Here.
Here. Mr. Daniel Boland? Here. Mr. David Abrams?
Here.
And Miss Betsy Roof is joining us through screen there. So that does give us a quorum, so we can move forward with our business tonight. And we'll ask Mr. Abrams to please have an invocation, please.
Let us bow our heads. Our Father in heaven, we come at this hour thanking you, God, for your many blessings. We thank you, God, for the sunshine, for the rain, for our travels and our going and coming. We ask, oh Lord, that you protect us and guide us, but most of all, God, as we're here tonight, help us to make sound decisions that will be the kind that you want us to do for the betterment of our mankind and for our Newberry County. Bless us in our decision making, and thus guide us, direct us in all truth and righteousness. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. We all received minutes from our last meeting. If you had a chance to review them, I'll take a few minutes to review them, and if we have a motion to approve the minutes, I'll accept it.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of the minutes being approved as written, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Miss Betsy, raise hand. All right, she did it. Okay. All right, we have a lot of business tonight, probably more items that I've ever seen on the Planning Commission agenda, and we're gonna try to move through them as quickly as can, but we're not gonna short anybody's comments. If anybody wishes to speak on individual items, we need to sign in, and then when you come to the microphone up here, to speak your name clearly and say what you're talking about. But we try to limit it 3 to 5 minutes. We, like I said, try to keep it as quickly as can, but we certainly want to listen to anybody's concerns, whether pro or against anything. But if anything else, we'll move right into our first case. MA-01-07-20-21, a rezoning request for one real estate parcel totaling 1.82 acres at 243 Boyd Crossing Road, Newberry, South Carolina, 29108, to be rezoned from industrial to R2 rural, tax map number 404-48. Ms. Katie?
The landowner is wanting to put a manufactured home on the property. So he's asking to be rezoned to R2. You can see that he does have R2 zoning to the left of his property. And the staff does recommend the rezoning to R2 residential. Currently, the lot is vacant.
Is that being cut out of the old sawmill track?
It has already been
Has
cut
already
out. Mhm.
And best I remember, some years back, we had already rezoned some in that area for this very same purpose. So it's contiguous. to
Yes,
that.
it is. Mhm.
Okay. Would anybody like to speak on that subject?
Chairman, this is Christina Gallardi Hendricks. I just wanted to make sure you knew I was here. I believe I missed the roll call. I apologize.
That's fine. That makes us have 7, so if somebody has to leave for some reason, we're still good to go. So, sounds good. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Well,
If no, further discussions, indications, I'd like to make a motion that we accept
okay.
this proposal.
I'll second it.
All right, we have the recommendation of staff, and the first by Mr. Abrams, and the second by Mr. Ward. If that's acceptable, I'll entertain, all in favor, say aye.
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 And, yep, have both of our Zoom participants are saying it, so it's unanimous that this one's approved. Okay, if anybody was here, they welcome to stay to listen, or they can go home. All right. All right, our second case is a rezoning request for one real estate parcel totaling 2 acres at 19 Quaker Road, Newberry, South Carolina, 29108, to be rezoned from limited commercial to R2 rural. Okay,
Right now, there is a vacant building on the property. At one time, it was used for a lawnmower repair shop. That business has now been closed. The gentleman who owns the property, he owns a manufactured home at a different location. He's renting the property that his home is located on. So he's looking to move his manufactured home back to his property. And as the zoning in limited commercial, he cannot move it there. So he's asking to be rezoned back to R2 rural so that he can put his manufactured home there and live there.
okay. All right, have a recommendation? Recommendation on that one too?
Yes, the staff does recommend that
Okay.
rezoning.
Would anybody like to speak on this subject, one way or the other?
Mr., you got a question?
Yeah, I just, it seemed, the date on the survey is 1993. I just wondered if there's any problem.
No, sir.
Okay.
It meets all conformity for a lot.
We don't want to make surveyors rich, so.
Yes.
I mean, What?
Anybody like, yes, ma'am.
I would like to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Diane Turner. I own the property adjoining that property. And when the property in 2010 was zoned from R2 to limited commercial, I tried to get them to not zone it as commercial. I planned to build on the lot that I had. I have 10 acres next to it. And I tried to not have it limited commercial. Well, they insisted, and it was changed over. I still own the property next to it. I feel like they wanted it commercial. I think it should be left as commercial. And I would like to know what I need to do to keep it commercial.
But yours adjacent to it is
Yes.
R2, right?
Mine's R2, yes.
How many, you said 10 acres?
Yes.
This is 2 acres. This is just 2 acres, right?
The parcel that's being asked to be rezoned is 2 acres, yes.
I asked, why would you want it to stay limited commercial and not go to R2?
Because
and-
what they put there, have you been out there to see what's there? I wouldn't want them to do anything. I don't know what they plan to do with the building that's there. I don't know what they plan to move out there. They said a mobile home. If they move a mobile home there, that again devalues my property, along with the building that's there. I just don't understand why they would want to rezone it. It makes no sense.
Well, the thing about the limited commercial, they could expand upon what's there
Correct.
and carry it commercial, and you don't know what that would be either. That
That's
would-
true.
versus going to R2, which would be somewhat more restrictive than what they can do with it now. That's the only thing.
But the plans are to put a mobile home there.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wouldn't want a mobile home near my property. It's going to bring the value down again.
Do you live on the property?
Not currently, no.
So you basically just do not want him to,
I just don't want it to be zoned back to R2
for no specific reason?
for the specific reason that I don't know what their intent would be other than to put a mobile home there. If you go out there and see what's there now and they put a mobile home on the place, what would they do with the building that's there? What are their plans for the building?
So if you knew what would be there in regard to the mobile home as to the barn or whatever.
It's not a barn, it's a metal
would that-
building.
Would that make a difference? If you knew what
If
was-
I knew what was gonna be put there, yes, it might make a difference.
Or maybe you thought about getting with the landowner to find out?
I just received my letter in the mail a few days ago.
Is the
was-
landowner here?
She is.
Yeah.
He didn't own the property in 2010 when it was rezoned.
Yeah, but he owns it now.
Yeah.
When did you purchase it? 2014 when you purchased it?
But your name is what? James. He's signing in. And you're planning to basically just take and place a mobile home on and live on site, right? Currently, what's being done with it? Just loan, but you don't operate anything out of it now, though?
Working on a one-bedroom apartment, so I plan on living. Bring the trailer over there for my daughter.
What did you say about the existing building?
He lives in it now.
Oh, you live in it now?
Now I'm getting next to it. Got like a one-bedroom apartment.
We'll have to work that
Another.
detail out.
Does this
Yeah.
answer your question?
Yeah, there's no telling what it'll look like over there. You know, they could put renters in there once they get it, you know, they could make that rental property. The
They could
building
do
is
that
big enough for
whether
two.
it's- Regardless of how it's zoned.
Yes,
Problem, limited commercial, he can just about put anything on it currently, right?
That's
mean-
yes, that's
I mean,
commercial
That's
business.
commercial, yeah.
That's the part with me that seemed like to me going to live on the site with a mobile home and this building being a structure on the home is going to safen up better than whatever because he can build what he wants to on it, limited commercial, subject to all the other approvals. That's the only thing. He could expand this site into whatever.
Seems like what he's doing now is better than what it is now. If what he's gonna do in the future, is that right?
I would
This
agree.
seems like it's gonna be in your benefit.
I don't know.
To
It
me-
seems like it right now.
And to me, it would increase the
If-
value of the property.
If they put, if you've seen the building, if they put one apartment in there, they're probably gonna put two apartments in there. So that would be two
They couldn't do
apartments
that on R2.
No.
and the mobile home.
Your 10 acres is R2,
Yes,
so you could put a mobile home on your property.
if
And you
I,
could put more than one on 10 acres.
yes, I
couldn't you?
could.
Okay.
Is this property on well and septic tank?
Yes.
All right. Anybody else would like to comment? Either way. Do we have a motion?
I move we approve the application.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second and recommendation of staff. Call for the vote. All in favor for the rezoning? Raise your hand by saying aye.
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 Aye, unanimous with the two. Third case we have tonight is MA 03-07-20-21, a rezoning request for one real estate parcel totaling 13.0165 acres at 206 Pender Ridge Road, Newberry, South Carolina, 29108, to be rezoned from R2 rural to general commercial. Tax map 342-1.
The landowner has asked to rezone to general commercial for future selling options. There is a stick-built house and a manufactured home on the property. We've explained to them that, if it does get rezoned, then it becomes a non-conforming use of the homes, and they understand that if power goes out, it cannot come on back as residential. So all of that has been addressed with the landowners. And staff does recommend the rezoning.
Okay, thank you. Do we have, anybody like to speak on the subject one way or the other?
I had a quick question. This is Christina.
Christine?
I think it mentions the city of Newberry city limits bordering it. Do you mind pointing out on the map where that is? I don't know if you can use a cursor or describe which parcel.
Isn't it the areas there in red, Katie?
Right here, right?
Isn't it the areas there in red, if I remember?
Yeah,
looking at it
red
earlier?
is the city.
The red is general commercial.
Okay.
Can you describe, in the packet, it would be, the difference between the red and the green?
The red is all general commercial.
General commercial.
The green is all R2.
But it's a red, it's a
It's a red
reddish,
line.
it's a reddish line,
That's right.
just, well, it runs along Connor Street.
That's right, that's the line.
But it also runs, there's some outside the city limits that is general commercial.
That's correct.
Okay.
That-
So great. I think that was my second question, to confirm if that red line, the red line that borders 397-2 on the left side and then goes up to Kynard Street, that was the city limit. Okay.
Yes, that is correct. The little red with the white is the city zoning line.
Correct, okay, thanks.
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. Has
Your
the,
name?
Jennifer Nichols, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Has the owner of the property given any kind of specificity of what they plan to do it? Because if the rezoning goes through, the list of the GC, I guess, choices is fairly varied. And any one of those choices, depending on what it is, if it's, a hospital or a medical facility, which I understand is in the GC column, could have an impact on the property values in a different way than if it's for junked vehicles that could be allowed, or if it's a bar or a restaurant, or if it's sorry, I made a few notes, if it's a bed and breakfast or a rooming and boarding house. Is there any more details that the owner has given other than just future planning use? It doesn't give, if you look, all the other areas are fairly, it's all residential. It's been there, we have young kids in the area. So, as one of the property owners in the area, I'd be concerned about the traffic it's going to be and how it's going to affect our property values, not knowing with better detail what the future use is going to be or what the future plans for it's going to be.
Do we have,
I do not have that information.
okay. do we have the owner here? Would you like to come up and address, please? But, and y'all, you sign in, young lady?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am, okay, thank you.
Well, the staff conclusions say that there should be no traffic problems with this real estate parcel being placed into GC General. You look on the sheet. I'm
Okay.
sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I'm Frida Kessler. I'm the owner of the property. It's my husband, Craig Kessler. He's the talker.
No, I don't mean to take her point, but it is just for futuristic property that we felt like with the oncology lab and the kidney dialysis right there, and then Piedmont Tech was right behind it. And then you had Hazel Plumbing on the corner up there, that it would be beneficial to address a commercial zoning rather than a residential, because there's no way that you could fully get the value out of a house and 13 acres as a residential.
It's basically already bordering it, general commercial on side and a half almost. Really.
Right. There is no anticipated buyer as a commercial lot, but we felt like studying this that we would be beneficial to go ahead and get it rezoned for the opportunity for the county to get another possible medical field in there.
Okay. All right, we have any other comments on it? Go. It'll be fine.
I'm Carol Coleman. I understand about the property value. First thing I want to know is why I did not get notified. I own property across from it, down the street from it. My sister owns property, she get notified. A lot of property owners, even contiguous property owners, do not get notification. I found out about it this morning. Having said that, yes, there is some commercial property adjoining this piece. This piece has been agricultural for my entire lifetime. I've been living there 61 years. But I'm gonna tell you, I can't even get the highway department to cut limbs out of trees to straighten the vehicles going by. Kinder Street extensions, Pender Ridge Road are atrocious, and they are not equipped to handle traffic that you're gonna create. I was even contemplating last week talking to the DOT about putting a no through truck sign somewhere out there to try to divert some of that traffic from being a cut through from the road that goes beside Lowe's, down in front of the highway department, then through there and back out on 76. I don't know why that's so attractive, but the traffic out that way has increased exponentially. And the road is not in good shape. I mean, it's literally about caved in at the culvert that goes under the road where my pond is. And I've had them out there innumerable times to work on it. They finally came out and cut a ditch, but it's about caved in again. So, you know, we saw a huge uptick in this residential area, in traffic when Piedmont Tech occupied the old Walmart building, which was, you know, understandable, got that. But I own 80 acres between Pender Ridge Road and Whiteman Road that is a true residential development type section. And I think if commercial goes in there down the road, it's going to affect my property value. And Hazel Plumbing is close.
That was the point I wanted to make. Our property sits on Pender Ridge Road, and the traffic that we have seen in the increase over the years, and we're on a dirt road, it's scary, the amount of traffic we see, how they fly, how they have no disregard. And in that house, at any given time, we have anywhere from, 2 to 5 kids playing in the yard. And it is constant almost all the time. That would be the concern that I've always, but also it's my understanding that just future speculative sales is not necessarily the reason to zone it for general commercial either. And then that would be the concern is that, I would think some use of it would be objectionable, but some of the uses that do fall under general commercial, I think would be objectionable to some of the residents in the area.
And my sister owns property straight across the street from it, 17 acres on the corner of Mount Bethel Garmany Road and Pender Ridge Road. certainly isn't a tract, a piece of property that's contiguous to two little home sites between it and South Carolina Department of Transportation, and she hasn't chosen to try to rezone it for commercial gain, and she's owned it for about 10 years now.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Edward Knowles. My wife and I are property owners for one of the adjacent properties to 206 Pender Ridge. I share many of the concerns of my neighbors. First off, I don't think zoning property to general commercial is a good use of this commission's time when we don't know what kind of commercial we want to put in there. We're simply just rezoning for commercial, for gain, for monetarily gain. Should it be zoned general commercial at this point? The commission would have no control. The neighborhood, the neighbors, the property owners would have no control over what type of business goes in there. We could not contemplate the future of our properties if it's just an open field that it's zoned commercial. My property, when my wife and I first bought it, we went to build a shed, went to zoning to get our building permit, and our property was zoned commercial for some reason. We got it rezoned to rural right next door because that's where we want to live. I share my neighbor's concern specifically on the traffic on Pender Ridge. It cannot handle a great deal more traffic. It's a two-lane road. You can hear cars wind up as they rev their engines from one end so that they can race to the other end. Now, I understand that's a law enforcement issue, not necessarily a planning commission issue. But that's the issues we face on Pender Ridge right now. Overall, would I object to a commercial operation moving into that property? As my neighbors have said, it depends on the commercial operation. Rezoning it to general commercial right now is not in the interest of the neighborhood or the county, in my opinion. Thank you very much.
I have two questions, if I could, real quick, to the Kesslers. Do y'all live on the property now? No, and how long have you owned the property? Just curious.
4 years, that's my mother's.
Thank you.
I mean, this would seem to me to be the logical thing for the buyer to do. So that, you know, at that point in time, you know, if a commercial buyer is interested in the traffic, then it's up to this planning commission to decide whether or not they can put what they want there, and they should be the ones to do it.
Mr. Kunkel, we have a letter here that it was mailed out, dated July 12th. I'm sorry if you didn't receive it, but,
To me,
yeah. Yeah, that 581 Mount Bethel.
well, I didn't get it.
Yeah, didn't get it, but I mean, they were supposed to, any contiguous, and most time they do, but with the mail and everything else, but I'm sorry you didn't get notified, but your comments were received today, which was, you here, so, yes, sir.
My name is Bobby Willingham. I own 10 acres on Pender Ridge Road. My family owns about 40 acres that runs through all the way to Whiteman Road. I did not receive a letter about this. My property does not join it, but I am across the road. And I can share some comments that I've heard already about traffic and the road conditions. Where my land is on Pender Ridge Road, the road has collapsed there. Caved in because of traffic about, Carol, what, 6, 8 years ago? It's going to cave in again because I've been working on my property and the culvert that they put under the road when they repaired it is now, water is running on both sides of it and through the pipe. It's just a matter of time when it's gonna be caving in again. And it's all because of the amount of traffic on there already. So, my entire family lives in this area, and most of the people that are here that have concerns are lifetime residents that live in the area. I was born and raised there, my sister lives there, my son lives there, her children live on that property. It's all residential. somebody comes knocking, wants to buy it, that is the time for this planning commission to rule on whether it can be zoned commercial or that type of commercial entity. And if it is something that is conducive to the neighborhood, then so be it. If it's something that's not, then this board needs to make that ruling then, not now.
All right, do we have anybody else like to speak on the subject? Ms. Kessler, what was your maiden name? I know that's been in your family forever.
Yes, sir. Shumpert.
Shumpert, okay. I didn't know, I've always thought it was pretty back in there, but I didn't,
Them, like, they're saying too, I was raised there also.
right.
And you understand, and Mr. Kessler, you do too, about the rural environment, because you were born and raised in rural property.
I do, Mr. Willingham, but the idea is, for us in infrastructure that the county has on the road maintenance and all, it's probably not due to the fact that something else would go on that road, but it's due to the fact that there's so many people travel that road.
And on that same token, if you put it in general commercial, depending on the use, that could very well impact even more use on that road. And if the infrastructure's not in place,
Do you know how many people are running off on?
They- Nine. Which one, on the left side of the road or right heading towards
One at the end
Wilson?
of the stop sign.
That's the end of stuff.
Straight out. It's a hump out of the dam right now, where
Yeah.
one of the coaches from the college
Yeah.
splashed out last year.
Oh, it's,
So, it's not a real,
Sell tickets.
I should. It's not designed for a lot of traffic. I mean,
Yeah.
that little road cut through there, and Rich County has a county cut through there. And they don't do a great job of maintaining. I'm just gonna speak my ignorance about it, all over the county. But, those little cut through roads like that are not really meant to have access commercial. If this piece of property had access out on 76, that'd be a totally different traffic flow pattern. But you're cutting right through the heart of all residential. I mean, from, virtually the interstate in, is all residential, all the way down that little run.
well, had a lot of discussion on this. Any other questions or comments? I guess
I just had a comment, which I don't know anything about this area, but their comments on Pender Ridge Road, it says here that it's a 40-foot right-of-way where most of the roads abutting commercial properties are 66-foot right-of-way. So apparently it is a very, very narrow road, which
Yeah, it
is,
is.
kind of goes, well, make your own decisions on it.
Well, I travel it
that
all
was-
the
that
time
was quite-
myself, and I mean, I like to
think
look at
one
the
of-
pretty ponds myself.
Pretty much ditch to ditch.
Yeah, but, discussion we need to have, or I guess my only thought I guess I've had is that, we rezoning 10 acres of general commercial without really any indication that what may go there, with it having an effect on the surrounding folks and all too. And almost love to have a little more idea of what might be some of the things that would go there, but
Is Pender Ridge Road county, is the county road, or is that a state road?
I think it's a state road.
It's a state road.
State road?
Right. Do we have a motion to accept it and change it, or we have a motion to deny this revision?
Seems like we have a lot of discussion, and more discussion is against the rezoning. And I'm quite sure that, regarding the landowners and their value of their property, I'd like to make a motion that we reject the rezoning
I'll second that.
Who's that, Christine? Pat?
No, that was Betsy.
Okay. The motion is to not approve this rezoning request or deny it, particularly at this time. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of denying the request, raise your hand. At this time.
Aye.
We, all in favor are of approving the request?
I'm gonna approve it. I would approve it just based solely because it's part of the economic development for the county. So I'm not gonna be a part of the denying.
We have 6-1 with the motion being denied or request at this time.
Mike, can you remind them that this is a recommendation to council?
Yes, a recommendation to council. We come here and all we do is recommend one way or the other. Council could decide to move forward with it. And trust me, they have overruled us both ways during the process. So whoever make you pitch to have it and make you pitch not to, so.
When will it come up on council's agenda?
I'll let, when's the next time?
August the 16th.
Okay. All right.
Chairman, I wanted to be an abstention to that vote as opposed to either.
Okay. 5-1 with one abstention. That's still right. Okay, 5 deny, 1 for, and 1 abstention. Okay. Again, if anybody would like to stay, they're welcome to stay, or if they would like to leave, they can too. But next item on the agenda is a rezoning request. It's MA 04-07-20-21, a rezoning request for one real estate parcel totaling 1.51 acres at 4943 Highway 773, Primary, South Carolina 29126, to be rezoned from RS Single Family Residential to R2 Rural. Katie?
The property owner currently has an interested buyer in the property. The interested buyer is wanting to put a manufactured home on the property. It's currently RS, which does not allow for a manufactured home. As you can see, all of the property behind and to the right-hand side is all zoned R2. Staff recommends the rezoning to R2.
Okay, we have any discussion one way or the other on that one? Yes, ma'am. Just speak your name and if you hope you signed in.
I would hope that you would approve this. The buyer is a single mom, and she's purchased the property next to it, and she can't come before you because she doesn't own it yet, but she's basically kind of agreed to it, and she would like to put a manufactured home there. Okay.
And there are manufactured homes in the area.
Yes, sir.
Basically continue to it based on. All right, do we have a motion to rezone this one?
I'll make a motion, we rezone.
Got a first?
Second.
Got a second? Got a motion and a second, and staff recommendation to approve this rezoning request. All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? None, 7-0 on that one to change the rezoning. Thank you. All right, next case is MA 06-07-20-21, a rezoning request for one real estate parcel totaling 4.64 acres at 1206 South Carolina Highway 773, Prosperity, South Carolina 29127, to be rezoned from R2 rural to industrial, tax map 576-9. Applicant here, I'm not so sure about.
Rick is actually going to be the presenter, but This case and the next case is exactly the same. Newberry County purchased the property. It's a part of now the Mid-Carolina Commerce Park. So the county's just wanting to rezone to have the industrial, limitations for the sections in between there.
It's already wrapped by the.
It is already wrapped by industrial. On the next case, there is currently a stick-built home on the property. The county has agreed with the renter to, honor their lease until December of 2021, but at that point, they will be, leaving the home.
Okay. Any discussion or? Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'm Rick Farmer. I'm the Director of Economic Development for Newberry County. And I'm delighted to be here tonight to bring this rezoning request to you. I started sounding the alarms to the Newberry County leadership a couple of years ago that we have a problem. We're going to have a problem, and we do have a problem today, and it's lack of quality Class A industrial sites. 5 years ago today, we had 7 sites in Mid-Carolina Commerce Park, which is just across the street from this property. Today, and at that point, we had 0 capital investment, 0 jobs in that park. Today, we have 4 fully functioning facilities, a metal stamping outfit, an engineered papers company, an appliance parts manufacturer, and a warehouse distribution facility. These 4 projects represent $70 million in capital investment and about 300 new jobs that we did not have before. But it also creates a problem of success. We're down to 1 industrial site, and it's the site directly on the corner of I-26 and SC 773, which council has always considered more of a commercial site than an industrial site. So that brings us to the point where we had to do something. Council, the leadership has developed a 2-pronged strategy to address this issue. One is the expansion of Mid-Carolina Commerce Park itself, the original park. We still have half the park that's inaccessible. We're going to build a road and a creek to get across there. We're going to open up about 7 new sites there in 2022. In 2021, however, we have several sites in the new, what we're calling Mid-Carolina Commerce Park 2, which is where this property is located. This, of course, will be a Class A industrial park with restrictive covenants, but part of the necessary preparation is to rezone these 2 parcels from residential to industrial to facilitate future economic development in the county. One of these parcels is completely vacant. There's not anything on it. The other is occupied by a family, and under the sales contract, and by the way, Newberry County does own all of this property. Under the sales contract, they do have until December 31st of this year to vacate the premises. I've spoken with the owner. They are making those plans. But we're very close to a deal with an industrial development prospect to take one of these sites. This rezoning does not necessarily hinge on that, but this is still an important step to market this property as industrial. And I'd be glad to answer any questions the commission might have.
I don't have any. Anybody? We have a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion, we accept.
First and a second. All in favor of rezoning, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Raising your hand.
Aye.
7-0 on that, approval for rezoning. And as far as I'm concerned, we'll, on the second one, we don't need the same discussion.
Understood.
We'll just, I'll read the case out off to be legal. MA 06-07-20-21, a rezoning request for 1 real estate parcel totaling 4.64 acres at 1206 Highway 773, Prosperity, South Carolina 29127, to be rezoned from R2 rural to industrial, tax map 576-9. Same discussion, same circumstances. Entertain a motion.
I'll Make a motion.
First and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7-0 again for the rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the commission.
Thanks, sir. Next item on the agenda, we got a revised agenda, which took that one off for this point. So item number 5, we will not discuss this time, that subdivision plat, but we do still move forward with item number 6, approval of the preliminary plat subdivision of proposed Tattler's Cove subdivision pursuant to subdivision regulations. Yes, ma'am.
We have submitted the sketch plat and the preliminary plat to all of the committee members who review our plats. Everybody is good with it. This one in particular does not have to have any kind of roads created. It's coming off a main road. It's 8 lots. In the future, they will be developing more, but that will also have to go before you guys as a different section of the subdivision. So this right now is just for the 8 lots that they're referring to as Paddler's Cove. And all infrastructure is currently already there.
It's all water and sewer or whatever is basically there, okay.
Who is the surveyor? I don't see a signed, I see a COA, but I don't see a signed.
I have the originals here. That's just an emailed version.
Monument Surveys, LLC.
Is that George Todd? Just curious.
Salute.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, it suits, it's recommendation of the staff for the approval of this preliminary plat for this. Do we have a motion to approve this for them to move forward? Have a motion? That's multiple seconds. We have a motion and a second. Entertain, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 7-0 unanimous again for the approval of preliminary plat subdivision for Paddler's Cove. All right. All right, that's our items of discussion. Any other discussion, information, any update on county council items y'all wish to bring to our attention?
First reading for Counts Road was accepted, so we'll go to second reading tomorrow.
Okay. Have any objections of that?
None.
Okay. Well, I hate we had the one that we didn't do, but to be honest with you, I would have liked to have had more information about what they were going to be doing with that general
Yes.
commercial site.
So, the solar farm that came before you all in December, they decided to go for first reading last month, county council. They did pass it on first reading, but they will be having a executive work session to gather more information to make, as they say, a better decision in second and third reading. So it's kind of been, again, postponed. Second reading has been postponed until they have their work session. But it has gone before council.
Did the Bremmers show
Yes.
up? Okay. Well, I'd rather for the council to make that decision, be honest with you, on that one too. And I think we do a good job of trying to manage the issues of both parties. I think we did that tonight, and I appreciate everybody coming. And really, anything we do don't preclude people from moving forward if they don't agree with what we did. So that makes me feel better too. So with that, our next regular meeting is August 17th, 2021. Do we have any idea we're gonna see that many items again?
I do not have any prospects for rezoning. The rolling hills that we had to take off the agenda, there's some issues with some engineering on their plans. So if all of that is corrected, we may see Rolling Hills subdivision plat. But at this time, that's the only possible item.
So when you bring us preliminary plats, they've already been through like SW3P, they've already had to jump through all those hoops as a preliminary approval?
Yes.
Okay.
This would give them the approval to start infrastructure, roads, putting all of that in place. And that's the thing with Paddler's Cove is it's already there. So they'll immediately jump to final plat, but most of them, this will give them the green light to start construction.
Gotcha.
Okay, with that, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second, third, fourth. All right, well, we adjourned. Thank all y'all for coming and getting the business of the county done. We thank y'all. All right, thanks staff too.
Thank you, Chairman.